Karen's voice sliced through the park like a chainsaw through butter, her finger jabbing at the air as if it could pin the teenager to the ground. That shirt's an eyesore, kid, and I'm fining you $500 for breaking HOA dress code, she bellowed, her chins wobbling with righteous fury. The teenager, Jamie, barely 17, stood frozen, clutching the straps of their backpack, the rainbow colors of their shirt blazing defiantly under the late afternoon sun. Around them, the small-town park hummed with life kids on swings, dog walkers, and a few nosy onlookers, but Karen, self-appointed queen of the neighborhood, HOA, was a storm unto herself. Her two sisters, Linda and Barb, flanked her like loyal henchmen, their identical perms bobbing in unison. Linda smirked, arms crossed, her purse dangling like a weapon. Barb, clutching a clipboard with the HOA's endless rules, nodded approvingly. "We don't tolerate this kind of flamboyance," Barb said, spitting the word like it was a curse. The trio, known locally as the Karen sisters, had ruled the Pinewood Estates HOA with an iron fist for years, terrorizing residents over untrimmed hedges, loud music, or, in Jamie's case, a t-shirt they deemed inappropriate. The conflict was simple. Jamie's rainbow shirt, a proud symbol of their identity, had become the sisters' latest crusade. But what they didn't know was that their reign of petty tyranny was about to crash spectacularly. The park wasn't just a backdrop, it was Pinewood's heart, where neighbors clashed and gossiped. Jamie had been walking home from school, cutting through the park, when Karen spotted them. The shirt, a gift from their older sibling, a queer activist, had caught her eye like a matador's cape to a bull. "This is a family neighborhood," Karen had screeched, storming over, her floral dress flapping. "You're violating Section 12, Clause 3 of the HOA guidelines." Jamie, shy but stubborn, had tried to explain it was just a shirt, but Karen wasn't listening. She never did. To her, rules were gospel, and she was the high priestess. The fine was absurd, $500 for a teenager who worked part-time at a coffee shop, but the sisters thrived on intimidation. They'd fined Mr. Lopez for his gaudy Christmas lights, hounded Mrs. Chun over her herb garden, and even threatened old Mr. Thompson with eviction over his rusty mailbox. Nobody fought back. The Karens always won. Or so they thought. Jamie's face burned with humiliation as Karen waved the fine notice, a crumpled piece of paper she'd scribbled herself. "Pay up, or we'll lien your parents' house," she threatened, her voice dripping with glee. But the park wasn't empty. Among the onlookers, unnoticed by the sisters, stood Elena Martinez, a civil rights lawyer who'd moved to Pinewood a month ago. Elena, sharp in a tailored blazer, had been sipping coffee on a bench, preparing for a pro bono case. Her eyes narrowed as she watched the scene unfold, her legal mind already cataloging violations, harassment, discrimination, abuse of power. She pulled out her phone, quietly recording, her calm demeanor hiding a growing resolve to dismantle the sisters' reign. Jamie's voice trembled but held firm. "This is public property. You can't fine me for my shirt." The crowd murmured, some nodding, others whispering. Karen's face reddened, her superiority challenged. "Public property?" she scoffed. "I run this neighborhood. You'll learn respect, or I'll make your life hell." Linda chimed in. "Kids these days think they can do whatever they want." Barb, flipping through her clipboard, added, "The HOA has jurisdiction over community standards, even here." Elena stood, slipping her phone into her pocket. She approached with the steady gait of someone who'd faced worse bullies than the Karen sisters. "Excuse me," she said, her voice calm but cutting. "I'm Elena Martinez, attorney at law. Can you clarify what legal authority allows you to fine someone for their clothing on public property?" The sisters froze, their smugness faltering. Karen's eyes darted to her sisters, seeking backup, but Linda's smirk faded, and Barb's clipboard trembled slightly. "You stay out of this." Karen snapped, but her voice wavered. Elena didn't flinch. "You're targeting this minor for their self-expression, which is protected under the First Amendment. Your HOA has no jurisdiction here, and your actions could be construed as harassment and discrimination based on perceived identity." The crowd grew, phones out, recording the showdown. Jamie's eyes widened, hope flickering. Karen doubled down, because of course she did. "This is about decency," she yelled, gesturing at Jamie's shirt. "We're protecting our community's values." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Whose values? Yours?" "Because the law disagrees. And I'm happy to prove it in court." The crowd buzzed, whispers turning to cheers. Karen's face twisted. She wasn't used to being challenged, let alone publicly. The sisters' arrogance had blinded them to the shifting tide. Elena's presence wasn't just a stroke of luck, it was karma in a blazer. She'd seen cases like this before. Petty tyrants wielding fake authority to bully the vulnerable. Jamie, still clutching their backpack, felt a surge of courage. "I'm not paying your fake fine," they said, voice steadier now. The crowd clapped, a few shouting encouragement. Karen's sisters exchanged nervous glances, their confidence crumbling. Elena handed Jamie her card. "If they try anything else, call me. This is harassment, and I'll represent you pro bono." Turning to the sisters, she added, "I suggest you review your HOA bylaws. They don't grant you the power you think they do. And if you push this, I'll file a complaint for discriminatory practices." The crowd erupted, some chanting, "Go home, Karen." A teenager in the back yelled, "Rainbow power," earning laughs. Karen's face was a mask of fury and humiliation. She ripped up the fine notice, tossing it to the ground, and stormed off, her sisters trailing like deflated balloons. The crowd parted, some clapping, others filming. Jamie, still shaken but emboldened, thanked Elena, who smiled warmly. "You did nothing wrong," she said. "Keep being you." As the sisters vanished into the dusk, the park felt lighter, like a storm had passed. Word spread fast. By the next HOA meeting, the sisters faced a rebellion. Residents, inspired by Jamie's stand and Elena's intervention, demanded transparency. An audit revealed the sisters had misused HOA funds for personal expenses, fancy dinners, official trips. The backlash was swift. The sisters were ousted from the HOA board, their fines declared invalid. Karen tried to rally support, whining about woke agendas, but Pinewood had had enough. The community rallied around Jamie, who became a local hero of sorts, their rainbow shirt a symbol of defiance. Elena didn't stop there. She filed a formal complaint with the state, citing the sisters' discriminatory practices. The investigation uncovered years of abuses, leading to hefty fines for the HOA and personal penalties for the sisters. Karen, Linda, and Barb faded into obscurity, their names synonymous with petty tyranny. Jamie, meanwhile, started a youth group for self-expression, supported by Elena's legal advice and the community's newfound unity. The park returned to its quiet rhythm, but the story lingered. Jamie's shirt, once a target, became a badge of courage. The sisters' downfall wasn't just a win for Jamie, it was a lesson for Pinewood. Power, when abused, invites its own reckoning. And somewhere, in the glow of a setting sun, a handwritten sign on a bench read, "Karen's public shaming goes wrong," a fitting epitaph for their reign. The end.